During Quad meeting in Japan, China and Russia conducted joint Air Force drill causing serious concern for Japan's security. We are already witnessing disturbances in Europe due to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. Intimidation by China and Russia reached its tipping point. The world can no longer tolerate any kind of war or war-like intimidation right now. But China and Russia's belligerent policy is hurting these walls to its core. Both of these countries are looking at Quad as deterrent against them. But the act they did now by exercising joint Air Force drill has put Indo-Pacific region, especially Pacific region, in a compromising position. According to the Ministry of Defense of Japan, 6 bombers of Russian aerospace forces and Chinese Air Force carried out joint passage from the Sea of Japan towards the Pacific Ocean as well as the East China Sea. Russia used their 1952-made Tu-95 MS bomber and Chinese used Xiang H-6K, which is a copy of Soviet Tu-16 twin-engine jet bomber. It was an intimidation technique and power projection against Quad, because Quad is slowly marching towards military alliance. China and Russia already started addressing Quad as Asian NATO. They have already signed Maritime Security Pact. Chinese are closely watching it because this security pact will clearly work against Chinese intimidation against Pacific Ocean nations. These countries not only use bomber aircraft, but they also use strategic fighter. The fighter escorts for a group of bombers was provided by Su-30 aircraft of Russia. According to Japanese Defense Ministry, the exercise was intimidation, but Russian view was exactly opposite. According to them, the aircraft of both countries acted strictly in accordance with the provisions of international law. They also said that the joint exercise was not directed against any third countries. But China is a master manipulator of its own. But Russia on the other side is a bit mature and sensible because they tolerated World War II and Cold War. Both of these countries have dispute with Japan. And recently, Japan is readily converging towards US. And Japan is investing huge amounts of money to upgrade their defense installation. Japan is forsaking their pacifist policy because China and Russia is challenging Japan militarily. Recently, Kuril Island dispute has been surfaced. It is a dispute between Japan and Russian federations over the ownership of 4 southernmost Kuril Island. The dispute regarding the status of Kuril Island arose between US and the Soviet Union during the preparation of Treaty of San Francisco in 1951. The treaty was supposed to be a permanent peace treaty between Japan and Allied forces of World War II. But treaty was never signed between Japan and USSR over the Kuril dispute. The peace talk was on. Even today this was on. But after Ukraine war, Japan put the ban on Russia. Because of that, Russia ended Kuril peace talks with Japan. Apart from Russia, Japan also have dispute with China over Senkaku Island. This island has been controlled by Japan since 1895. This island is not only claimed by China, it is also claimed by Taiwan. The problem regarding that uninhabited island actually started in 2012 when Japanese government purchased 3 of the disputed islands from their private owner. And that ownership caused large-scale protest in China against Japan. It was the lowest point of their relationship since 1945. So this military drill was used to intimidate Quad, keeping Japan in center. Quad has also signed economic agreement to counter China. In this economic agreement, which is called the Indo-Pacific Economic Framework, have 13 members. It is led by US President Joe Biden. It was the brainchild of United States. It is a trade pact to counter the Chinese-led regional comprehensive economic partnership. So it is clearly visible to us that the Quad is a grouping to end the Chinese hegemony in Indo-Pacific region. Quad has also taken some steps to pull Chinese loan-burdened countries. For that, Quad decided to make a system with $50 billion, which will going to help the agreeable, like-minded countries, those who are in Chinese debt, like Sri Lanka. Now, it is our duty to let you know why China and Russia worried about Quad. If you want me to explain being very neutral, then I have to give you the answer for the both sides. Why should and why they should not be worried about Quad. First, I would like to give you answer on the Chinese perspective. Why they should be worried? Quad before 2017 merely grabbed any headline of any newspaper of the world. But in 2017, when Quad held its first leader-level summit and issued its first leader-level communique, since then Chinese officials had begun to view the Quad with growing concern. Beijing had also concluded that the Quad represents one of the most consequential challenges to Chinese ambitions in the year ahead. Because of Quad, the Indo-Pacific equation has changed. The future of rule-based order for Indo-Pacific has also taken new strides. The Quad is also challenging China economically, because China sees himself as economical superpower between today and 2035. And critical thing is that Quad is mighty military powerhouse. Chinese military power is also being challenged by Quad Maritime Alliance. Now, the Russian concerns. Russia was never threatened because of Quad. Quad was never built to keep Russia on mind. They rather felt threatened. They sharply criticized Quad because of American presence. America is the only military match against Russia. Russia addressed Quad as US-led, persistent, aggressive, devious policy intent to enshrine India in its anti-China games. Moscow never criticized India, although India is a part of Quad. Though Russia tried its best to increase its military and economic ties with India. Russia is unhappy about Quad because it is a potential game changer and disrupting the Russia's position and strategy in Asia. After 2014 Crimea, when the Russia was isolated from US and Europe, then they cemented their relationship with China. But Russia remained pragmatic and transactional about China, because Russia knew that they were the junior partner in this alliance. Now, after Ukraine war, Russia has also isolated and marginalized from West. At this moment, they do not care whether they are junior or senior in this ally. They are simply surviving. And now the time for us to know, why should not they worry about Quad? Because the Quad is a grouping of nations, those who are followed the democracy. They are the follower of democracy. Democracy is a rule-based system. So these countries could never attack Russia and China, except USA can try it. Even USA will think twice to act against any military solution against them. India, Japan, Australia will never attack Russia. The countries are far more concerned about China than Russia. So, in my view, the military solution will never going to solve anything. Any kind of military solution will put this world in a dark age. Because in today's time, every powerful nation have weapon that can kill the living organism on earth at least billion times. Quad is just an informal organization. It can challenge China economically, but it will never take on China militarily. Only solution for the world is peace. The US President Joe Biden have to think twice before speak, and he have to take its advice before talk. But following today's geopolitical scenario, this is the best option I can give you right now. Because the President Biden's some kinds of advice to the world has put these worlds in danger. And they should not give this advice the way they are giving the world. Now the questions. The first question is, Indian Navy undertook coordination patrol exercise with which country? First option is Japan, second is France, third is Bangladesh, fourth is Sri Lanka. The second question is, which is the venue of 75th edition of the World Health Assembly? First option is Rome, second is Paris, third is Geneva, fourth is New York. So this is the end of the topic. If you have any kind of concerns about this topic or questions about this topic or any other topic, then you can contact me through my email address, which is tuhin.power.academy@gmail.com. Thank you very much. Thank you for your support, and please watch my video.